Mm. I always have to change it. I have to go in because it says that it's being shared publicly, but it's always only to friends.
Hmm. Okay, well, that's good to be aware of.
Yeah, just gonna switch that up. So thanks for everybody that's on
Share right now.
play watching this
Oh,
here.
oh, as I tuned into the Facebook page, your Facebook page, we were live at 111. I
Okay.
love it. Of course we were. Oh.
Amazing. So, welcome everyone. I am really excited to have what was supposed to be an exclusive and private conversation in my playground membership with Rosalyn Fung actually happen in the public sphere because that's what I accidentally posted to. So, I don't believe in accidents when it comes to things like that. This was obviously a conversation that needed to be shared publicly. So here we are. I'm just sharing this into the playground because I did promise them something as well. And that's the beauty of flowing with what is instead of fighting it and going, oh no, I made a mistake. It's like, what if this is something even better? And I am super pleased to be speaking with a dear friend and colleague and coach and mentor, mentee as well, client of mine,
All the things.
Rosalyn Fun, who is a intuitive, visionary business coach and spiritual teacher, as well as the host of an amazing podcast called Activate Your Soulgasmic Business. And she speaks light language and she even shares that on her podcast. But when I first met you, you were not comfortable sharing that publicly and you didn't know what to do with it. So
Not at all.
all of that stuff. Thank you so much for chatting with me, Roz.
Yeah, absolutely. And we have to point out how, like, when we came on, we're like wearing matchy matchy shirts, and like we're wearing a white sapphire pendants. Like, we're like, oh, we're twinning today. So good. Talk about same frequency.
Yes, that's kind of what we wanted to jam on a little bit, besides doing a little bit of light language duetting and having a conversation in light language about how your frequency magnetizes in your soul family. And yeah, old soul family here.
Totally.
And it's funny because before we met, there were mutual friends of ours that were like, oh, yeah, I don't know if you guys should even be in the same room because it might just explode. So far, no full explosions, but I mean, lots of exploding, heart opening, magical.
Orgasms. Yep. So much magic. Co creation. Absolutely. That's probably the actual explosion we want.
Exactly. That's what we're going for. And I've noticed that the more that I have spoken light language, the more that I have really shared my soul essence unapologetically, the
Mm,
more I've been able to magnetize in my soul family and soul people, the opportunities, the collaborations, the co-creators, they just feel your energy. So
yes.
Rosalind has been one of those people for me. I love co-creating with you.
Well, I have to say thank you to you. We should share how we met because some people may not know. So, Aurora, you hired me as your business coach because you were like, how do I communicate in my messaging what I do? Because it's very magical and we need to ground it in the 3D world. And as we were jamming in a session around let's get clear about who your ideal client is, who is your soulmate client. We were doing that, and I was like, wait a minute, that's me. And at this point in time, so this was just before COVID. This was December 2019. And I had just been gifted light language earlier that year, so around April 2019, and I didn't know what to do with it. And I literally had I knew it was good. I knew that one day I had a couple friends who spoke it, and I'm like, one day I'm going to be able to do that. But I didn't feel confident to put it out there without feeling weird about it. Like, oh my God, am I causing any harm? About like, even though it's love, energy, of course not. But that ego stuff and not trusting and not knowing, you just don't know what you don't know. So I think I was like, or I'm gonna totally hire you one day, like not right now though, just but certainly for sure. Right. And then I had this galactic experience where, and this is going to be maybe too out there for some of you, but I know that some other people are going to really resonate with, like, oh yeah, I've had that experience too. But I saw an alien in the middle of the night, and I was awake, and I was like, all right, it was like a octopusy sort of holographic alien. And I was feeling very calm. I was like, all right, that's an alien. And then my ego kicks in, like, that's an alien. I put my covers over my head. I'm like, please, please, like, oh my God, go away, go away. And then I messaged Aurora the next day. I was like, girl, this just happened. So I can't wait. I need to hire you now. So I think the aliens came and said, no, you cannot wait, Roz. You have to start. You've got these gifts. You must start soon, like now. And I was like, all right, I got the message. Hired Aurora right away. So it's been a very powerful journey. And Aurora, I just have to say, like, you gave me a deeper sense of understanding how to trust my intuition, trust myself more, get out of my ego at that next level, and be so confident in understanding how to utilize my gifts of light language and how it has really supported my clients as well in activating them and clearing blocks and being able to help them amplify whatever their soul purpose is. So it's been really powerful.
Mm. I'm just breathing that in to first honor you on your amazing journey over this basically last year and a half, because it certainly seems like there was an acceleration of you stepping into your multidimensional galactic magic, which is, I've discovered through working with you and really on my own journey after I moved away from teaching dance and mastery through movement and doing it more in these more fully, like full on woo ways, like light language and everything like that, and meditations and soul journeys and coaching. I love supporting people who are from the galactic realms. You could call them star seeds, way showers, light bearers, multidimensional beings who are grid weavers and light workers. Bring all of their galactic magic in and down into the earth, and then know what to do with it and share it out into the world. And so it's been so fun to watch and witness you explode and claim your multidimensional heritage, your galactic origins, your spiritual team coming from the Pleiades, and all of these beautiful experiences, because you have a powerful voice and you've got a big platform and you are sharing these things boldly and
sure am
about what people are going to think.
Yeah, yeah. And thank you for acknowledging all of that love. You've been so much a huge part of it. It's like I get to practice what I preach at that next level with this new gift that I thought, like, how do I share this without people feeling like you're freaking weird? And it's okay. It's okay if people think it's weird. It is kind of weird, from a 3D perspective. And yet it's so beautiful, because when people hear the light language, they're like, that the sensations that happen and the experiences that happen, the downloads that happen, it's like they're unexplainable, because it's language that only your soul can understand, and we're all human beings or souls having a human being experience. And so it just, that doing more of what I love and what brings light into this world, and heart opening, just, it's like, why wouldn't I do this? Right? Like, it's like, it's not for everybody, because not everybody's ready to receive it, but it's for those people who are ready.
Mm. Yeah, I'm just breathing that in too. So many wisdom bombs flow through you when you speak English. And I love that. I have learned so much from you about showing up as who I really am, fully owning it without worrying that it is going to turn some people off. I think that's one of my biggest lessons from you is the understanding that when we are standing fully in our truth and allowing ourselves to evolve and radiate our soul essence, some people are going to be like, "Oh, no, no, thank you." And that's okay because they move back and they create space for the soul family, for the people who get it, for the people who feel you to come closer. And you were already doing that when you were, again, speaking English and just being you. But light language, it feels like it's taken you to that next level of expression because it is beyond words. It is
Yes,
beyond the 3D, and it's something that has to be felt by the soul.
yes.
And I feel like it's amplified your magnetism, your abundance, the people that are drawn to you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for saying that. And the thing that the concept of what you just shared is, I always tell people, if you're not polarizing, you're not being bold enough, authentically bold enough. And so this was that next level for me. It's like, okay, Roz, this is you stretching outside your comfort zone. You're practicing what you preach with putting your light language out there, being bold, polarizing people. Some people aren't going to understand and get it. That's okay. You're not speaking to them. You're going to speak to the people who are feeling called. And like you shared, it like literally magnetizes your soul tribe, your soul family, your soulmate clients to like quicker. It like collapse time. And also, not only that, but the gifts and the impacts the light language has on our clients like has been incredible. The ripple effects have been amazing.
Hmm. Absolutely. Have you had that same experience as I'm guessing you would have, where you speak light language and someone goes, I have to work with you. And I don't really understand fully why yet. They're
Mhm.
just drawn to you in an almost irresistible way. It's like the sirens singing the soul.
Yes, and it's for me because it's been part of my work anyway. People say that, and then when the light language came in and I was more public and out there with it, it happened quicker. And just like, you can't deny the effects because they're immediate in our bodies. They're immediate in the, okay, I don't know what just happened. And some people are like, okay, I'm just gonna notice it, and then so other people are like, oh my god, that feels like home for me. So that's where it's just like, and that was my experience with the people that I've heard speak light language. I'm like, I just knew deep inside. I don't think I've ever said it out loud, but deep inside, there was this knowing, like, that feels like home. I'm gonna be able to do that one day. I'm gonna be able to speak light language one day, and then it happens. So it's just been, hmm, what's the words I want to use? It's been very profound and very impactful for my own self. And then for me, what's, because not everybody may want to um, feel comfortable sharing their gift. Uh, but for me, I knew it was something that needed to happen to support the raising of the collective, the consciousness in our collective. And so it's just been, yeah, this needs to happen now. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, we all know that this is what this year has been about. The last, like 2020 and 2021 is dropping away of all of the stuff that really isn't built on that foundation of truth, like the truth with a capital T, and stepping into more of who we really are, and then co-creating from that space and building a new experience where people on this planet feel safer to express themselves fully, whether that's in light language or how they dress or in their business, right? It doesn't really matter. And
Totally my mission. Safer is the word, to be authentic so that we can feel authentic to be ourselves. Absolutely.
and you don't have to speak light language publicly to really enjoy it, right? You can do it as I have people that just do it with their clients, use tones and things like that. And I know that you've done that with the Akashic record reading, and in business, you've supported people with that. And I'd love to ask you a little bit more about that in a sec. But also, just for personal use, it is one of the loveliest ways I know when I need to either clear some energy or move some stagnant stuff or bring in or integrate the energy that's coming in. Because, a lot of times there's like light downloads, like so much energy. It helps me to digest it and integrate it and bring it into my body when I speak. Like,
Yes.
so it's this very
Yes.
purpose tool.
It is. And I feel like first and foremost, it is for us so that we can feel grounded, expanded, work through whatever we need to work through. And like the English, sometimes there's no words, like English words that quite describe a situation or what you're trying to say or express. And this is like, okay, let me just, light language this out. And there's immediate grounding, anchoring, um, calming, surrendering, whatever is needed. Because light language is is for the purpose of wherever you are in your life, in your process. It can be there to help you clear, heal, balance your energy centers, activate whatever needs to be activated on a soul DNA level, and it just sort of like shifts and rearranges and recalibrates you.
Mm. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
beautiful tool. I'm so happy I have it. I'm so proud.
And it's fun.
It is.
I have a couple comments, people that are writing in live and saying Shalon, or if I'm pronouncing that correctly.
Hi, Shalon. Yeah.
Light language is what drew her to work with you.
Ah, I didn't know that, Shalon. That's awesome. I'll give her a shout out. She's in Client Attraction Academy and she's an SRT therapist. So cool. So cool.
Mm. And there's another question too about light language and if it's a gradual process of it turning on, because Nicola was saying it turned on for them a couple of weeks ago, but then since then nothing. So first question is can it be a gradual process? And the second question is, does anyone actually understand what's being said?
Well, I feel like you could answer the gradual process. Mine came right away. Um, and I can tell that story if you guys would like. Um, and then, sorry, what was the second one?
Does anyone actually understand what's being said?
So I don't understand what I'm saying. But what's more important that Aurora's taught me is the feeling, the intentions behind it. Like oftentimes when I'm in the Akashic records, so one of my gifts is, so Akashic records is accessing the records of your soul. It's through God consciousness. And I'm channeling your angels, master teachers, and loved ones to get messages for you. So my special gift is I can see what your blocks are. And they could be from this life or past lives. And so when I do this is past life. And I can clear anything that's not serving and supporting you in this lifetime that have been affected from past lives and this life. And then I also, with my light language, and then I can also amplify your gifts, your purpose with my light language for the highest truth and good. So it's pretty incredible what transpires in these readings with the light language. I set intention. So if I'm clearing, I will say it and I can feel the being coming through and the light codes that need to come through to support the clearing. And I feel what my clients feel. So I can feel like where they're shifting and what's happening energetically. I can see it with my third eye. I keep my eyes closed so I can see more during my readings. And so it's just so powerful what happens. Like we both feel like, okay, it's all cleared. And then checking in and integrating that. It's just powerful. And then often another being will want to come through to integrate and heal whatever needs to come in for healing purposes. And they sound so different. Like the energy behind them is very different. So when we're really clear about the intention, I don't know what I'm saying specifically. It's not like English. where you know what you're saying. It's a feeling, a sensation, for that's aligned with the intention. So that's how I experience it.
Mhm. And we could go really in depth onto what it can be used like and how we can experience, but I want to answer the two questions quickly from my perspective. Mine also turned on in a very sudden way, and once I unlocked it just from seeing someone do it, and I was like, I can do that, and I just remembered it was on. But I also was at the point in my journey where I had already cleared a lot of blocks to self-expression and authenticity, and I had tools like belief repatterning, and I had
Mhm.
healed the witch wound of being afraid of speaking my magic and things like that. I'd already been through that process, and I know for some people what happens is it's a bit more gradual because it'll come up and it'll be like a preview, but then there is something blocking it, and it's probably a limiting program, a belief. It could be something from the Akash, it could be something epigenetic, and it's just showing you that that's what's next in line to be healed, to be loved, to be transformed and alchemized, so that you can tap into the flow of light language. And that happens a lot of times with our gifts that aren't fully always present. We
Yeah.
get that little sneak preview, and then we have to go through and do the healing work to access it more of the time. Light language for me now, yeah, it's just on command. All I have to do is set the intent. When it comes to understanding it, understanding and speaking it are two completely different skill sets. So first, we have to destroy and uncreate the idea that we have to understand everything that's coming through. Sometimes it's just the tones that need to be experienced and felt, like what Roz was saying. And
Mhm.
sometimes that's all it is. But other times it comes through with data packets of information that are able to be decoded by people, A, if it's the right time, and B, if they've already turned on basically all of their dimensional lenses and psychic senses. So sometimes for me, I'll do light language and I've got a general sense of what it is, but there's never a word for word translation. But then afterwards, I'll be able to just like basically speak into or channel what it's about. And as I'm speaking it, it's like all of the information that I received is unfolding, and I'm able to present it, and I'm able to speak into it. And sometimes I'll be channeling from my own soul tones, my own light codes, my own multidimensional self. And other times it's a communication from another aspect of my multidimensionality. Might be someone from a different collective, might be a guide, might be, somebody that's even like a friend who's just communicating with me and sharing this information. And the reason I'm able to often decode it is because I can do that even without light language, and I can have telepathic and psychic communications with other beings. So they're like two different skill
Pretty
sets.
magical. Yeah.
They weave together, but your psychic and intuitive senses need to be turned on to be able to get more information from it. But it's okay if you don't,
Mhm.
right? If you're listening to a song in another language or someone doing jazz scat, you don't have to fully know it. Heck, even in English, we usually don't know all the words to a song. We feel the feeling, and that's the important part.
Exactly. Or we're listening to a different language. Like I don't understand Spanish, but you can get a sense of what is being shared or the emotions and tensions behind it often. So yeah, it's such a beautiful process. Um, should I quickly say, I won't tell the whole detailed story, but I'll share how I got gifted light language. Um,
Mm.
so, oh goodness gracious, 3 years ago, or was it 2 years ago? I can't remember. I think 2 years ago. Um, I came home to, so I grew up Catholic. My parents were atheists. Grew up in the Catholic school, so I've always believed in God. But because of some of the people that I was associated with, you know, of course, they see things in a specific way, and I've had experiences where people try to impose their religion on me and judge me for my relationship with God. And so I've always kind of kept the G word out, and yet I've always believed in God. And shortly after that, I've had all these experiences where God was really present in my life, and miracles were happening, and I just couldn't deny it anymore. So I was in this new relationship, and those of you who've been following me for a while, you may remember my whole big like spiritual awakening with God, and just me claiming that I love God on Facebook, and it was very powerful. I had a lot of people reaching out and saying like, I get it. Like, I'm afraid to say it because, you know, people might think I'm imposing religion on them, and that's, you know, that's something very sensitive to. I respect all faiths, and that you have your own relationship with your faith and your higher power. And so um, it was in this honeymoon stage, we'll say, with God, and I was led to a Christian conference, which I've never been to before. It is intense, like whoa, intense. And so I was an intense experience. I was at the end of the day of that conference, somebody, one of the pastors, came up and asked if I wanted to be baptized. And so, in my schema, I understand baptism to be like being dunked in water, in holy water. So I'm like, all right, I'm ready. And that wasn't what happened. Pastor put their palm on my forehead and said, "Repeat after me." It was a woman pastor. And I received the gift of the Lord. I received the gift of the Lord's tongues. And then she started speaking tongues. And I'm just repeating her, but I'm watching her speak her tongues. And then she stopped and she's like, "Repeat after me." I'm like, oh. So I'm doing this. I'm trying to repeat tongues with her. And then all of a sudden my mouth starts doing its own thing. And she's like, that's your language. And I was like, oh, wow. And so for me, tongues, because it has more of a religious association, I don't quite resonate with it. And light language is more spiritual. I've learned I'm more connected with galactic. And so for me, it came through the root of Christianity, interestingly enough. And it doesn't mean that it's from specifically that path. Um, so I do, just like you, or I do believe it comes through different sources. Like it could be God consciousness, it could be galactic. It's multidimensional. But I've always been able to, since that day, it was like speaking light language right in the car right after. I was like playing with it. I can do it on demand. It's just always there, ready and available. So it's really cool.
Oh, I actually had not heard that story before.
What? I thought you have.
No,
Well,
fully like amazing. And people do ask all the time, is light language the same as speaking in tongues? And I say yes and no.
yeah.
It, speaking in tongues comes down through that more religious path, and it feels more angelic to me. Like there's a lot of that, and because a lot of the religious grids have a lot of distortion, some of it gets a little weird, but also some of it's super pure, because you don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. Just because it comes through in a religious sense doesn't mean that, you know, it's all distorted. There's so much beauty in there, and I see that in all different forms of religion and spirituality. So to me, light language does feel like it accesses more of that galactic that you don't really get into in the church, though, right?
Yeah.
With the Pleiadians and the Andromedans and the Arcturians that you know of when you're with a pastor, typically. And if you are, please let me know if I have missed that experience in the church. But in the Catholic Church, there wasn't a lot of talk of aliens. Let's not get into all of that.
I think we open a whole can of worms there if we do.
They have galactic too. So I'd love for us to share some light language before we close out. If we could talk about this stuff forever, but Nicola was just asking, did you immediately start to speak it rather than hearing it first and speaking it later? So I think I understand your original question better. So Nicola, were you saying that you're hearing it without speaking it yourself? Like it's just sort of something that's being downloaded to you, or you're hearing clairaudiently? Because for me, that wasn't my experience. I do hear light language now from other beings and from myself without speaking it, but I heard someone else speak it out loud, and then I just tried it. So I didn't just hear it first and then have to learn how to speak it myself. So I think that was your experience as well.
Yes, it was. Yeah.
I think if you are hearing it, you can just give it a try. And if somebody is in this position of wanting to learn how to activate their own light language, I'll just share on Thursday, I am doing a free masterclass that is how to activate your light language. I'll share my 3 secrets that I have taken myself, hundreds of people through now to activate their own light codes and tones. And that's going to be, actually, I already put the link in there so you can register for that. And there's a replay if you're not able to do it live. And so far, basically everybody that I've ever worked with has been able to at least bring through some light tones and some movement. And then there's expansions that you can do with it and play with it. Because as you've heard, you can hear it, you can sign it, you can sing it, you can write it, you can dance with it, or you can use it in client sessions to clear, to activate, to integrate. You've even used it for money manifestations. Can you just
That's right.
about that?
I was just gonna brag about how crazy amazing you are and the work you do with your clients are, because we have lots of mutual clients. Aurora and I are just like this is the explosion, right? And it's been amazing to watch our mutual clients grow, expand, become more magnetic, become more of like really peel off whatever ego layers need to be peeled and just come home deeper to themselves and really show up as who they truly are. And just like your work is, I feel like there's no English words to describe how powerful the impacts of your work has been and creating those ripple effects for like in our clients and then in their clients' lives. Like it's just, I may start crying. It's so beautiful to see this. And I'm, part of that is, yeah, the because I called myself an abundance warrior, and how beautiful the that my gift of light language uh, provides that abundance, not just for myself, but when I set the intention for money codes to come through, abundance codes to come through, and prosperity. I have done I was during my 5-day challenge and I felt called to do a light language meditation around manifesting more money. And literally within the next less than 24 hours, there was like a significant amount of people in there, and about I think it was 6 people received large sums of money the next day, and somebody also got a scholarship to a school that she had been wanting to go get into. And so it was just like my ego's like, what? No, 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 like what? Like sometimes I'm still like that. Like, I just can't describe the amazing miracles in this way that show up like this. Like you can't make this shit up. And yet my 3D self is like I'm trying to make sense of this. Logical sense. It doesn't make logical sense. Oh, it's so fun.
Yeah, it doesn't make logical sense that you would be able to do this. But when you zoom out to more of that creative aspect, that we are the same energy of the universal creation principles, the quantum field, God source, whatever you want to name it, in these bodies, it does make sense that we could be able to bring through our magic and our codes. Like you are an abundance activator. You do that for me. You helped me create this amazing abundant business. You've done that for so many people. You're bringing through those codes, those energies that you embody, and then you're sharing it out. And if it is for somebody to be activated in that way, it's going to land in them. It can do DNA activations, like the etheric DNA that we have that is beyond what we can see in the physical, which gives us access to more of our whole multidimensional self, right? Those things can flow through with light and sound, which are the creative principles of all that is. So we're able to share and create in that way. It's so fun.
Oh, it is so fun. It is like I'm like I just want to stay in this energy all the time. And we get to.
And not to say that it always feels really expansive and And
Ascension is not always fun.
sometimes after big expansions, we need to integrate,
Yeah,
right? And that
taught me that.
sometimes feel like a crash down or a contraction. But when you keep it consciously in the, oh no, I need to integrate, I need to digest, all of that feeling feels better. Because yeah, we want to stay buzzy up here all the time, and that's not where we're at yet. So
Yeah. Yeah, very true. I've learned to embrace the ascension symptoms, and for me, it's just had it during summer solstice. Woozy, spacey, like wasn't making sense with my words coming out of my mouth. I'm like, this isn't even like language. I just literally could not form a sentence. Shoot, Aurora, I didn't even think about. See, I was so spaced out. I didn't even think about why don't I just light language and see if I can integrate this. Yeah, I didn't use my own tools.
when we're in that space, sometimes we can't see what our tool
Right?
is.
Right. Yeah.
It's great though to reach out and to have community members and friends and coaches who can be like, oh, have you tried this? Right? And remind each other. We need that when we're going through so much. And yes, if you want to know more about like integrating the huge energies, I just had an amazing conversation with Nina Infinity on Monday that you can look back to see. And because yeah, the integration process is something we're going to need to get better and better at, because there's more and more light coming in. There's more that we need to be able to integrate, digest, and absorb so then we can embody it and then go ahead and continue on co-creating magic, right? And sharing it with the world.
Absolutely.
So we could talk forever about all of this. There's one more question, and then I think we should actually do some light language for anyone that's like, what is this light language stuff? Like, I'm curious, I'm interested. First off, Linda, it was just saying we're both so magical and powerful, and I'm thankful for you both. And I just wanted to
Is that Linda Bow?
hi,
Hi, Love. We love you.
so much. And speaking of magical and powerful, yeah, another being who is magnetized in by just, our energy, who's also magical. And Jags was asking, is light language specific to an individual's language or a collective language? And yes, both. It's and also, right? It can come through our Akash. Sometimes you'd be like, oh, that sounds Russian. That sounds First Nations or Indigenous. This sounds like German, or it sounds, or we might know it's coming through those more galactic collectives or telluric collectives. Sometimes I'll even know that it's from just divine feminine energy or divine masculine energy or straight from source or from Gaia. Like, yes, all of it can come through. You won't always know, and that's okay. But if you are meant to know, you will. And also, if you have this imagination that it is something, yes, let it be that. The first thing that comes through.
That's the first thing you've taught me, Aurora. I can't wait for you guys to take her masterclass. Like, seriously, if you're feeling called, go. Go learn more from Aurora. She's amazing. And she will activate you to your next level.
Thank you. Maybe that could be the theme of this activation, of activating some magnetism for people with permission. So first kind of clearing out the, it's not safe to be who we really are and to be that magical and be that unapologetically awesome, right? And then the permission to really embody our own unique soul essence so we can be magnets for all of the abundance that is our birthright. Yeah, awesome. So I think what'll happen is, we haven't done this for a while, but it's always fun. Roz and I will have a conversation in light language. We'll go back and forth. And I just want to invite you all, if you're in a space to do this, to take some breaths and even close your eyes, or you can keep them open to see whatever our hands might be doing, and really receive it at the body level instead of the mind level. Let your mind be a witness or observer to what you're feeling and experiencing, and be open to receive. So let's all just take a breath or two together. Breathe in through your nose and fill up your belly. And just sigh it out. Take another breath in through your nose, fill up your belly and then your heart. Sighing it out. One more deepest breath yet. In through your nose, fill up your belly, your heart, and your crown. Diashkana e utikana e rati. Te okshkinia te ari te kina ayoto kita. Te ayo no mayata kia. Te okoyo natash.
Mora kia ne kora tia ne kia mora kora ti. Mora kia ne kia mora kora tia ne kora kua mora kua.
De ashkenia de ke te tishkana ati koyo to na de diate kana ari te opo.
Marakia kora tia nene kia morkua marakia kora tia nene kia kora tia morkora tia nene kia morkora tia nene kora tia marakara tua nene kia marakia morkora tia.
Yanye ya ye. Tati ni kana ishtaka itopo. Tite ana yokoya shtana te okoya e ati katae tash.
Moratia morkia nene kora tia a morakia morkora tia manene kia morkora tia a morkora tia nene kia morkua nene kia moratia.
Ye onoya ye ki. Tarai na shkanar te ki atage ya. Yanayu. Pishtaka tidana moya taka. Ter tiki nashtaka daya doya no moya tashkana dar yum taka.
Karatia mo koratia a moro koratia nene kia moro koratia moa. Moro koratia nene kia moa mene kia kia a moro koratia nene kia moro ko mene kia moro koratia moro ko a moro kia moro koratia ne koratia a moro koratia mana kia na katua.
Yoi. Dai kaya tash te kumo ya tari yaka. Te oki ane taye.
Kia karatua. Mira kia tia nen kia mo koratia a moro kuhina no kia kia na kia koratia na kia koratia. Mara kia manina kia na koratia a moro kuhina kia na kia mara koratia a mara kia nene ni kia na korati kia moro koratia mara kia karatua mara kia moro koratia nene ni kia moro koratia.
Veo, kita. So just taking a moment to let all that land and notice in your body what you're feeling right now.
Like you are in a sound bath, an energy bath.
Mm-hmm.
Receiving, you're soaking in, surrendering, allowing, feeling in, tapping in, turning on.
And let's just set the intention for all of the codes that were shared today, through all of us co-creating together in this moment, for them to be integrated and digested with grace and ease, and allow ourselves to be activated just to that absolute highest level that's allowed in accordance with like divine law and infinite possibility now. So if you're watching live or on the replay, let us know. How did that land for you? How do you feel? And I mean, look at us now.
Like we actually look and feel different. Oh my gosh. Girl, I just have to say that was really, really freaking fun because I don't know what was coming through, but it was very conversational. And normally when I'm delivering, it's on a meditation setting, and just the delivery, the tone is different. It's like this was conversational. This is really cool.
I think we've only done that once or twice before. And it's so much fun to play with other beings in this way. And I heard a lot of clearing energy, right? Like, and some of it was pretty forceful. Just letting you know, what I was hearing is like, you know what? Let that shit go. The stuff that is holding you back, it is time
Mhm.
just to let it be done with now. All those old things that are holding you back, like it's time. Like you've carried them long enough. So I was hearing a bit of that, like it wasn't quite exasperation, but like a strong, very, very thorough, like, come on, do it. Like just let go, drop it now.
Felt really playful, like almost like you got this. Let's just let go. Like there was a lot of like joyful energy. Was what I was experiencing. It's like we can get playful, we can get curious, we can get experimental. And that's really like the energy of how we want to move into that next level. Like just let go, receive, and move into the next level of joy. What's that thing that brings you the most joy right now? Do that, because that will expand you, that will elevate you, and that will be the thing that will make allow you to be more luminous and magnetize the people, the things, the opportunities that will support you to play in this new level.
Yeah. After the clearing was like woven into a few different pieces, but that was exactly what I was getting, was like, let's have some freaking fun with this. It is time to have all of the fun and bring all of your magic back online, right? Without dulling it down and just being that full power, radiant expression of light, and to allow it to continue to evolve. It feels like there was a lot of seeds that were planted today, and it's not like everyone's going to flip a switch and be like, okay, full luminosity all the time, here I am.
It's not that easy.
No, because it's a process. But there was a lot of permission given for people to experience that, and that is something that we hold in our fields. That's part of our magic. And yet, we did not step into existence fully formed in this expression either. We've gone through our processes of healing and clearing and giving ourselves more permission all the time, constantly, to show up as who we really are, without that concern for, the people that might not get it, right? Because again, we're here to serve those that are ready, willing, and that resonate,
Mhm.
right? So it's time to be fully you. And there's a bit of drop the people pleaser and seeds that were planted in
Mm,
this as well, right? It's okay if not everybody understands. It's okay if not everyone likes you. It's okay if you see things that are even triggering for people,
mm,
right? That can be a gift. To trigger someone is to give them an opportunity to look at what is ready for love and healing.
that's right. And that's not in our control. They decide to take that.
Mhm. So I feel ready to step into my next level after this amazing conversation. Let us know again if you're feeling like that planted some seeds for you to be able to grow into your next level of radiance, luminosity, and magnetism. And if you are needing a business coach, this lady here is absolutely stunning for invoking all of your magic, giving you permission to bring your unique stuff out, and also giving you some of the structure and the tools um, in her programs. You've got an amazing free Facebook group you should tell people about, but also the Akashic stuff.
Yeah, thank you, love. I love that you're like me. We just lift each other up. This is the way it needs to be. It's like, yes, like let's lift and raise each other up. Let's shout each other out, because like it's all about that co-creation, that win-win-win. So thank you. I love you. So yes, as a visionary business coach, I love to support you if you want to magnetize your soulmate clients and monetize on your calling. We can get on a free discovery call, and there's different ways in working with me. And then I also offer. I'm actually starting to offer soul coaching as well, which is like life coaching plus spiritual coaching. And you don't have to be an entrepreneur for that. Nor do you need to be an entrepreneur for having your Akashic records read. So those are usually one-time sessions, but people often, work with me multiple times for records when they feel called. So you can connect with me, www.rosalynfung.com. And Magnetize Monetize is and Monetize is my free Facebook group for coaches, healers, and entrepreneurs. So we can put all the links in the comments. And
Absolutely, we will. And that's really where I cut my teeth practicing going on Facebook Lives, because even though I was a performer and I could do all of that, hula hoop in front of thousands of people, doing Facebook Live was scary 2 years ago. And I could hardly even, maybe 3 years ago now, hardly even think back to that time, as that was my normal and I'd be tripping over my words. And now I will think nothing of turning on a Zoom, streaming it in and sharing light language with people, right? It's a safe space to practice shining your light if you are an entrepreneur. So I love that free Facebook group, and all of your offerings. Everything I've ever done with you has supported me in being more of myself. And that's I think why we work so well together and we have so many mutual clients, because we have codes that are similar, but we bring different aspects of it forward. My specialty is supporting people in transforming those limiting beliefs, those old programs, so that they can connect to their highest self and multidimensional self, bring their galactic magic down to earth, and then trust the intuition enough to take the aligned action to create and to share their voice and to be that beautiful radiant essence in the world. And so watching you, I'm this proud coach. I'm like, look at you sharing it on like a podcast and stepping into that next level of voice and creation activation. So much fun.
exciting because the podcast is top 10% in the top 10% globally of most listened to. Like, I'm like, this is amazing. Trailblazed with speaking, being the first. It's a live radio show turned podcast. So it's a online high level conscious radio show. And I'm the first host to regularly deliver light language on this platform with, I'm going to say, hundreds of other hosts. So it's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, one of my favorite shows. We do another light language duet in the episode that I was on. And
I'll drop that link down below as well. Mm-hmm.
Gosh, I mean, that was only a year ago, but I feel like 1,000 years has passed in terms of our evolution. Like that sounded, the light language, way different this time.
And it's so cool how I can see myself evolving. When I first started, I was recording my modules for my Mastermind Client Attraction Academy, and Aurora had pointed out, she's like, "Did you notice?" Because I always deliver light language in these modules as a first thing. That with, I think it was module 8ish, it felt like all of a sudden it got richer and more textured and more layered and more expansive and more powerful. I'm like, I know, I can, like, it's tangible, like it's literally like, and feels different. So it's really cool. Thank you so much, love.
It does evolve and it does grow. And that's the fun thing. So if you are interested in light language, even if you already speak it, I would or you draw it, you write it, like you can draw light language, you can sign it, you can write it, you can speak it, you can sing it. Even if you already do that, come to that free masterclass, because we're going to be activating it using my joyful alchemy process, where we go through some of the transformation and the activation to bring it through in a richer, more fully embodied way. And it's going to be a lot of fun. That'll be the free offering, and then I am going to have a 6-week journey for people who already speak light language or are new to it, to dive into all of the facets. Like, how can you speak it, write it, tone it, draw it, sing it, sign it, and then how can you use it? Like, how can you be like Roz and activate people in their magnetism, or you throw it on a podcast, like all of that stuff.
With your family members, if you're, or relationships, right? Like, you can use it all different ways. And I want to put a plug in. I actually took that course. So I was Aurora's one-on-one coaching client. And then she put this 6-week course on my, I mean, like, it was not even a question. And I got to explore different ways of how to express my light language through all the ways that she said: drawing, toning, singing, and so writing. And I still feel like I could go back to those modules and go over them, and they'll just enrich and deepen my skills even more. So
Thank you for that amazing plug. So if you're watching on Facebook, it's in the comments and also in the original post. And if you're watching on YouTube, it is on the show notes. If you are catching this on YouTube, be sure to like and subscribe, because I am doing more and more of these amazing conversations with people, as well as coming on with myself if I feel like I've got something to share. But having illuminating, heart expanding conversations that support your radiant evolution is my favorite thing ever. So thank you so much for joining me, Roz. We'll go back and we'll add all your details into the notes and comments as well.
Thank you for having me. And thank you to those of you that are tuning in live or on the replay. We cannot wait. We love hearing back from you and your questions, your takeaways. And hopefully, we'll see you in Aurora's Masterclass and her 6-week session.
All right. And again, if you love this woman, please do follow her on all of the things, your bold, sexy warrior on Instagram. And you can find her as Rosalyn Fung on Facebook. Like, it's just so much fun to be in your presence. And I can't wait, because are we still going for dinner tonight?
That's next week, hon. I know. Timelines.
Next week. Okay, fine. I will wait that long.
Love you.
I love you too. Thank you so much. And we will talk to you all soon. Have a great, wonderful day.
Bye, loves.